Welcome everyone, my name is Ravin Stevens and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. During my life here in Detroit, I've seen a lot of interesting things and had many unique experiences. This has led me to dream of a life as a movie writer and director. Maybe even do a reality show or two. So here I am at Full Sail University presenting to you my podcast on the evolution of African American romantic comedy. I chose this subject because I grew up loving these type of movies. When I went to the theater, it was usually to see something like Poetic Justice or How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Now the movies of Tyler Perry rule the African American movie landscape alongside other talented filmmakers such as Malcolm D. Lee, director of Best Man Holiday. Hollywood is flooded with an impressive number of African American movies of all types. The romantic comedy just one of many. Early on in the late 60s and early 70s, there were very few African American romantic comedies to be found. Most directors involved with African American projects toured black exploitation films. However, Claudine starring James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll was one of the few exceptions to the rule. The movie dealt with a couple dealing with life, marriage, and welfare. This really didn't change for the next decade or so, not until Purple Rain hit the big screen in 1984. I know this was probably not intended by producers, director, and musician Prince to be a comedy, but I think and agree the end result was a great romantic comedy. The biggest reason more of these films didn't get made was the majority of the movie studios just couldn't see the profit potential in them. That's why films like Purple Rain and Hollywood Shuffle had to be funded primarily by the actors themselves, aka Prince and Robert Townsend. Then came Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. Now the studios set up and took notice. Not only did African Americans go see the movie, but the rest of the Americans did as well. It was a box office smash. Eddie Murphy proved to Hollywood that mainstream American was ready for the African American blockbusters. Then came the 90s. In my opinion, this was the golden age of black films. Classic films were put out, it seemed like every other week. Soul Food, Friday, Waiting to Exhale, House Party, Boomerang, The Nutty Professor, and so many others. Big budget films backed by big studios that wanted a piece of the African American movie pie. The trend started in the 90s, bloomed into a full-fledged movement with the arrival of the new millennium. Nowadays, we take for granted African American movie fare at our local Simplex. There are no less than 3 to 4 big budget African American romantic comedies a year for us to enjoy. And the future looks just as productive and bright as it does right now, especially once I have my chance to wow the audience with my material. Once again, this is Ravin Stevens. Thank you for watching my podcast. I hope you enjoy. Until we meet again.